Satnam, aloha, welcome to the full moon message for this week. And we're still in the full moon energy. It actually occurred yesterday, my time. And that's funny. Just a sec, I just want to make sure. There we go. But it's 3 days after, 3 days before. That's how. So we're still in the energy of the full moon, and so it's in the gift of initiation or initiative and awakening, and it's in the shadow of agitation. So if you have any planets that are, just checking the degrees here, between 15 degrees 21 degrees Aries, you're going to really feel this, right? This is the moon. So what's this telling us on our evolutionary journey? Well, firstly, our world is in the midst of turning right side up. Sounds funny, eh? We've heard of the pole shift. Pole shift is really happening inside each one of us. The great flood is happening inside each one of us, and that's the emotions, right? The solar plexus mutation. And then it's reflected in the external. So our world is in the midst of turning right side up. So for thousands of years, the world has been upside down. So imagine that you're in a kayak, right? You're in a kayak in the ocean, and then it gets flipped, right? And you somehow can breathe under the ocean, right? You forget about the other part, right? You're like you're upside down in the ocean. You can breathe, and all you see is the ocean, right? So it's dark under there. Maybe you see a little bit of refracted light, but you think it's part of the ocean, right? You maybe see some fish, and then suddenly you get flipped upright. And how does this change your perception? Right? It radically changes. Now you can see the sky, you can see the clouds, you can see the sun. Oh, that's where the light is coming from, the sun, up there. You're breathing air, and then you're looking down at the ocean. So too with us, our perception of this world is changing day by day. We're seeing it out in the world, right? So we're awakening to this new perception. And as a humanity, we're awakening. And awakening depends on your frequency. So at a lower frequency, you can feel hostile, right? You can feel angry about all the injustices in our world. And so this turning can be painful as all the shadows are being seen out in our world, right? The darkness that we couldn't see before is being made visible. So the darkness can't hide anymore, right? The darkness can't manipulate humanity anymore. In the Aquarian age, everything is coming to the surface. There's no more hiding. So people are awakening to the truth that our world has been run by power-hungry sociopaths, right? If you were to put a label on them, without any empathy whatsoever for other humans, or any empathy for other sentient beings, or this planet itself, right? So we're awakening to this truth. We're awakening to the truth that there are laws for the power-hungry sociopaths, and then there's laws for the rest of us. So spiritually, these people have a closed heart, and they're living in the lower three chakras, right? They're seeking more and more power or money, right? More control over others, more life force energy, and basically wanting immortality to somehow stay in their physical bodies, right? Because that's who they think they are. They're just these bodies. So they are ruled by the ego. And this consciousness of the lower S self, right, the self-obsession with the lower self is leaving the planet. So it's going one way or the other, right? Time can take it away as well as this evolutionary energy we're experiencing on the planet. So generally, when the masses awaken on this level, right? It's anger. People feel angry, or they turn the anger inward, and this creates a depression and a hopelessness about life. So this is the shadow of this full moon, right? The shadow of agitation. So let's bring it down to the personal level. The shadow of agitation, is that restless, uncomfortable feeling we have in our body at times. It can make us feel jumpy, impatient, nervous. And if you're not self aware, you don't feel the agitation, right? And you start acting unconsciously. So let's break it down more. So, agitation, something got agitated. So, what got agitated? Our trapped emotions got triggered. Our emotional memory got agitated. And our emotional body is our new third eye for the Aquarian age. Right? We're moving out of a mental awareness system into the solar plexus. Right? This is the new third eye, is our emotional body. So the root fear that gets triggered here is what's going to happen to me in the future. What's going to happen to me in the future? That's the root fear. And it comes from an ancient early warning system that's connected to the reptilian part of our brains. And you can see some animals express this. You hear stories of animals seeking higher ground a day or two before a tsunami hits. Also, there's all this weird behavior people have noted, right? Snakes and birds and all kinds of other animals are going for higher ground. They know, right? And how do they know? Through this shadow, right? Through this shadow of agitation. So it served us too, as a humanity, to stay alive. But now we're changing and shifting into a whole new species. So agitation is there, but the mind comes in a split second to generate a tsunami of thoughts as to why you're feeling this way. And this is when we get into the blame complain, right? The victim consciousness. It's my boss, right? Or it's my partner, or it's my mother, or it's the government, or it's my kid, it's the 1%, right? Blaming for how you're feeling. So the mind is misinterpreting this energy. So it's misreading what this energy is. So does it mean that something bad's going to happen to you if you feel agitation? If you're feeling agitation, does that mean that I'm not attuned to something that's going on in the earth? I'm in danger. No. It means that you're changing, right? You're changing. You are evolving. You're awakening. And this is what the ego is fearing, right? Because remember, the ego belongs to the shadow illusionary world that's going away. So this is the evolutionary energy that's moving through your astral body or your emotional body. So the evolutionary energy is moving, right, to these subtle areas, right? And it's coming from, the central sun, but I won't get into that. All you need to know is the frequency is changing on the planet. We're turning right side up. So it moves through your emotional body, and what's in there? All your stuck emotional memories from childhood that you've long forgotten about. So all those undigested emotions from the traumas that you experienced in childhood from 0 to 7. And these memories, they don't exist as a visual, logical, linear memories. It's not like a movie. They exist as feelings. They exist as body sensations, a heat, a knot, a tightness, right? It's all there. And it's interesting to know, too, in my research that a lot of people don't remember their traumas until later in life, right? Until their late 40s or 50s, even 60s. And then these memories will start to surface. So they can stay locked in your emotional body for a long time. But this is changing, like I said. So this full moon that we're in right now, this energy that we're in right now, it's a blessing. And then it gives you a chance to access these emotional memories. You're going to awaken somewhere where you're asleep in your life. You're going to awaken the potential to awaken. And so what you see out in the world, right, is simply a reflection of what's going on inside you, your inner state. And this gives us the potential to spiritually awaken. So what are we awakening from, right? A dream, right? We're awakening from a dream that we're only these physical bodies with our five senses and our mind and our emotions. And we've been dreaming that we have no power and that we're victims in our life. And there's all these oppressive forces, and we're too little, and they're too big. We're awakening out of this complacency that we've been in, our complacency, our willingness to give our power over. This is what we're awakening from. So how do we smoothly move from this feeling of agitation and impatience and anger to awakening? In depression, I want to throw depression in there too. Well, initiative, that's the gift, initiative. And there's an old story in India about a woman who is this young bride, right? She's getting ready to get married. So she's walking through the woods from her family home to her village. She's going to try on her dress. She's going to pick out the flowers and all that stuff, right? That comes with putting on a wedding. So she's completely lost in thought. She's dreaming about her wedding day and how happy she'll be. She's dreaming about her future husband, right? Well, when she's in this reverie, she runs into a tiger that's sitting right in the middle of her path. And this tiger was a shock to her mind because she had dropped her dreaming about the future, because she had to deal with this threat in the present, right? Everything disappears and it's all about the tiger. So she was able to get out of the situation by running away. And then she told her teacher, right, the story. The teacher said, "You're blessed to have a tiger on your path because it woke you up." Not everyone gets that blessing, right? It woke you up. That tiger on your path woke you up. So our tigers on our path, they look a little different, right, in our modern age, but they lead to the same effect. So it could be the tiger on your path is like someone steals your car. You come out and your car is gone. Or you suddenly get fired from your job. Or you find out your spouse has been cheating on you and runs off with someone else. Or you go to the doctor and you get a sudden cancer diagnosis, right? These are all tigers on your path to wake you up. So this is definitely connected to the shadow pattern, right, of shock. This is the shadow of agitation, but it's about shocks, right? But you get to choose when the tiger comes on your path. Do I react unconsciously from fear, right? Do I go into victim, or do you respond? Do you respond and learn from this experience and grow from this experience and evolve from this experience? So this is where you have to ask yourself, what emotions are coming up for me right now? And how does this connect back to my childhood? Remember the emotional memories. There's an energetic connection to what you're experiencing out in the world and what's going on inside you, right? All the past has to be healed, right? So you want to ask yourself these questions, and then you take the initiative, right? You feel the fear. Taking the initiative is taking self-responsibility. It's to feel all the physical sensations that are coming up for you. And you don't wait for somebody to save you. There's no savior for the Aquarian age, right? Jesus is not coming down off a cloud and going to save everybody. That's not the way it works. Christ consciousness, that's the return of the Christ, is inside. It's the opening of the heart. It's coming back into our innocence. And how do we get there? Through the inner child, the wounded inner child. So you don't want to save, you don't want to go into that thought pattern, right? That we've been trained, we've been conditioned to give our power over to others, and that they're the ones, they're the authorities, they're going to save us, they're going to tell us what to do. And that's all got to go. It's filled with lies. So you don't want to wait for someone to save you. You want to save yourself. You're your own savior, right? This is the purpose of the tiger on the path, is so that you can transcend this challenge, and it's awakening you, right? There's nothing like a good shock in life to wake us up. And Yogi Bhajan actually talked about this. In the Aquarian age, we need to rely on the self big S self. That's where we go first. So what's been agitating you this week? You're going to feel it. I really feel it. The last couple of days it came on strong. What's angering you in your life? What are you feeling upset about? Where do you feel hopeless and depressed? This is the area that you need to take initiative, right? Life is showing you where you've been playing the victim, where you've been complacent, right? Believing that you're only this body, mind, and emotions and your five senses, and you're much more than that. So just take a moment, just with me right now, watching. So just close your eyes, right? Close your eyes. Take a few long, deep breaths through your nostrils. And ask your higher self, right? What is agitating me? And how does this fear relate back to my childhood? And trust what comes up, whatever comes up. It's all you have to do. You have all the answers inside you. So today, ask yourself, how can I be my own superhero? How can I be my own superhero today? How can I take that one action towards my soul purpose? Right? That one little action, however small. Just take one small action, right? And you can write it down in the comments. It's always good to get it out, put it on paper or on the screen of your computer so others can see it too. This is what I have to do, right? This one small action. And so for me, talk about me personally, is, you know what I would love? If you're a Kundalini yoga teacher, if you could put that down in the comments, that would be great. I'd love to know who I'm talking to, right? I'm assuming that you're teachers and healers and leaders if you're into me, right? So for me personally, and as an Aquarian teacher, you need to know this. As an Aquarian teacher, we don't teach through, I'm going to read, okay, I've got my Kundalini yoga book here, and I'm going to read something Yogi Bhajan said. I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to teach that to other people. There's no power in that at all. What we do is we want to be the embodiment of truth. We're the embodiment of truth, capital T, truth. And so we're teaching through our experiences. So we gather these experiences and then they get encoded in our energetic bodies. And this is what is teaching. This is what's really helping people. Okay? So this is how I want to start approaching my messages too, is to really speak from my own personal experience and things that I've learned. Because I've noticed this ever since I've been teaching Kundalini Yoga meditation. Something will happen in my life that's just like, so it's a shock, right? Some kind of shock, something really strange. What's that about? And me, I always, like, even since I've been a child, can read. I've had that blessing and that gift to read the sacred dream. Like, what's this going on and what's it teaching me? I remember asking these questions, like 10, 11, 12 years old. I was asking those questions. So what happens is that as a teacher, you're put in this, you put in this experience, right, out in life. And then it's to force you to grow and expand, right? Expand, grow, evolve, and learn from it. Practice the teachings, what you've learned. Then it's encoded. And then ultimately, a student or somebody comes up to you and needs help in that area. And you're like, oh, I know this. And then you talk about it. But it's really your presence that's doing all the talking and the communicating. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that this is how I want to start approaching my messages, because I learned so much in my life and through my interactions with other people in my past too. So for me, it's moving forward with this it seems like an impossible task of this emotional freedom retreat on Maui. that's like set for May 2020, right? So my intuition has been poking me, poking me. It won't let go. This vision has been with me for since I've been here, and it won't let go. It won't let go of me. And that's that's when you know it's your intuition. It's like the same phrase, the same feelings over and over again. There's no shoulds, anything like that. So when I tune in to the potential, and this seems so impossible, right? This seems so impossible to little me, little Hadi Bhajan, little callous yogi. But when I tune into the potential of this retreat, I don't see visual images. Like I can't see that what it's going to look like and the logistical things like that. I don't see any details, but I have a feeling. It's a feeling in my heart, and the feeling is pure. Purity. The feeling is purity. It's openness. It's innocent. It's playful, and it's elevated. This is what I'm tuning into. Because remember, with manifestation, it already exists. It already exists, right? I'm just tuning into the existence of it. And to be honest, it just makes my heart melt, when I feel this. So this is what I'm trusting, right? And I don't know if you know this, but I was the co-founder of the 3HO International Men's Yoga Camp in Vancouver, British Columbia, way back in 2005. And it was the same thing. It was like an impossible situation, and nobody wanted it. Not many people wanted it. Why bother, right? It's not worth it. But I had this feeling in my heart. So it's the same thing. So what I want to do is bring you along for the ride, right? So I'm going to keep you in. Whenever you put Kundalini Yoga into any equation, craziness happens, chaos happens, learning happens, people's stuff comes up, right? So I'll keep you updated weekly with my experiences, this is big for me, right? To be completely transparent in what I'm going through. Okay. Before I continue, I just want to see if there's any. I'm not seeing any comments. Let me see. Oh, I know why. Because you're not here. Oh, there we go. Right on. Yes, full moon, right? The full moon energy is about letting go of the old. And another thing, I've been obsessed with this Jeffrey Epstein case. I don't know if you have too. And this is something that I've really shied away from in the past, is that kind of darkness, you know? But I felt really called, like I've been following this case like long before even July, like a year ago or something like that. I've been following it. I've just been really called. And I feel like my inner teacher, my guru inside, has been like pointing my head, like, you need to see this, you need to see that. And I feel a lot of us light workers and teachers, that's why all this stuff's coming up, so that we can get used to it, but train ourselves to be in that neutrality in our yogic self, so that we can witness these shadows emerging, because there's going to be a lot more of them, right? I told you this before in my videos. This is the year of the child. This is the year of the child, and everything's upside down. We're turning things around. We're coming right side up again. Upside down is like we're not protecting the most powerful on the planet, are not protecting the most vulnerable. They're actually exploiting them. They're doing the reverse, right? Our Western medicine is doing the worst. It's making us sick. It's not making us healthy. The government isn't serving the people. It's serving the elite. The elite are the government, right? So everything's upside down, and it's coming right side up really fast. And if you're in tune with your growth and evolution in that consciousness that's moving through you, you can feel it too. Like big changes are afoot. But we have to get into our yogic self, all you teachers out there and light workers, and you're in that strength, find that strength in you, because you've got truth on your side, right? They don't have that. They've got the ego, and the ego is a big illusion, right? All this material power is like, it's nothing. Bunch of pieces of paper. Like, look at it, even money, it's a bunch of pieces of paper. There's no power there. The power and strength is with your soul and with your presence. So that's what I say to you. Like, don't turn from the darkness. You don't want to turn from it, but you don't want to be staring at it either and getting fixated and drawn in. But we have to look at it. That's the message I've been getting, right? Is to be able to look at it in a neutral way. And this is all our story of the unfoldment of our awakening, what this full moon's about. Okay. And Audrey, yeah. So Audrey calls them secret societies. Exactly. Yeah, they're not so secret anymore. uh, yeah. So OTB TV News says, I'm watching these videos to understand why there are more spiritual attacks on my work and name and how to heal this. Yeah. You don't. You don't need to do anything. This is the thing, right? This is the world is perfect, right? The world is perfect. Isn't that crazy? I'm just talking about this and now I'm saying the world's perfect. It is perfect. It's just a reflection of what's going on in the collective unconscious of humanity. This is the movie. It's just a mirror. It's just a mirror, right? So any attacks that are coming in, and I know this, right? That resistance, it's that force, right? It's the force, but it's that this force pulling us away from our source and who we really are. And it's losing power. It's got no power. And the only power it has is the power you give to it, right? So the best thing to do with this is pay no attention to it, right? That this has no power over me, right? I sometimes do command demand. I don't know if you know that position, command demand. Command demand is calling on your power as a child of God. Like, by the power of God, I command demand this negative energy leave. And it will leave. It will scatter. It's like rats, cockroaches in the corner. Will just scatter, right? It can't stand in the face of this light and this power that we all have. So the command demand is like standing up for yourself. So imagine, I always imagine my little inner child, because that's who you're standing up for, is your innocence. That's your power. So it's about standing up for your innocence. And there's so much power in that. Okay. Okay, great. Audrey's practice Kundalini Yoga. Yes, Kundalini Yoga teachers. Is this? Okay. Yeah, Kellyanne, I'm a Kundalini Yoga teacher for both adults and kids. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the nodes, right? The nodes are in the spiritual warrior, the 38 and 39, right? That's the shadow of struggle, but it's the gift of perseverance. So it's about awakening our spiritual warrior. Now, in my own life and other people that I've talked to here that are on the path, right? They have also reflected back to me that there's a little bit of effort that we need to make, a little bit of an effort, a little bit of a push, like pushing yourself. And then, right, and this is the full moon. It's all about initiative. So just pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone a little bit, right? We're pushing through that conditioning that's keeping us small and in a prison. Yeah. Okay. Great. Sasha Boyle, Yogi Bhajan, talked about teachers, and he said there's two things that you can never hide: the smell of garlic and the teacher. So if you're destined to be a teacher, you cannot hide being a teacher. People follow you. Well, they'll find you. Like, students will find you. Okay. Okay, just a sec. I'm just reading a couple more comments, and then I'll continue. Yeah, they're still trying to connect harder to the 3D. Seems like I want it to be a lot very good. Aung San Waigaru, that's right. Every cell is God within me. Aung San Waigaru. Yeah. Yes, and that's the safest place. Like, think of a storm. Nature teaches us all the time, right? A hurricane. There's always the eye of the storm that's calm. That's where you want to sit. When things start to get crazy and chaotic, the pull is going to be our reptilian brain wants us pulled into the fear, right? The fear and the reaction and the blaming and the complaining and turning on each other and all that divisiveness, all the ego games. But you want to stay in the center, right? Your center, right? And you're just watching the play, right? You're watching the play. Does this mean you disassociate from your feelings? No. You can be still in there, watching your emotions and feeling them at the same time, because you want to be feeling them too, right? But you don't want to be reacting from them. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, what else do I want to say? Okay, so I wanted to know that, like, who's the Kundalini Yoga teacher. So, you're going to leave that down in the comments. And I had another question for you people. I can't remember what it is now. Oh, about my messages. I want to know, like, are these of value to you? Are you receiving anything from them? What other things do you want covered? Um, a different approach, just let me know. Just put that in the comments. And also in the comments, I put a meditation I did in 2012. It's a meditation to rid yourself of insecurity, a Kundalini Yoga meditation. That's a good one to when you're feeling insecure and what's going to happen in the future. When you feel like you've been overtaken by the shadow, that's a good one to put you back in your center, right? We've got this technology and there's tons. I have tons of meditations just on my channel, and then other teachers have meditations too. Okay. And so the other announcement is that my 12-week online emotional freedom program still an option to join in. And this is really working with the solar plexus mutation. It's not only healing your emotional body, clearing that all out, purifying it, right? Connecting with your inner child, your divine child, the magical child, but it's also healing your ancestry, right? So it's a step-by-step thing. It's a live class, plus I've got recorded videos, like tons and tons of information. And then it's unique to you too, according to your chart. So you get particular audios and PDFs and things like that for you. But I also opened up an option of working one-on-one with people. So this means that you would commit to a 30-minute video call with me one-on-one as you move through the program, because this can be deep, sensitive work. And personally, I've seen it all. I had the horror story childhood too. I got through it. I've seen and heard it all with people. I've been helping people with this for so long. You know, when I left my family of origin at 18, I went straight to the bookstore. I got to the self-help bookstore. It was like, what the hell happened to me and how do I undo it? Like, that's how long I've been on this journey. And every time I work with people, it always comes back to the inner child. Like, it's the root. It's the total root. And we're seeing this with these pedophile rings, right? They're like predators right on them of these children. And these things are challenging because it's in the emotional body. The child can't remember, right, through the mind. The rational mind hasn't kicked in yet. And then boom, 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 they have this self-esteem problem and suicidal and addictions. And then they reach in their 50s and 60s, and then it starts to come up, right? And meanwhile, they've got a statute of limitations there, right? So you can see how our whole system is rigged with this. And I'm not being exaggerating at all. Like this is the next big shadows that are coming up. So it's time to be in our yogic self, right? It's time to be with our inner light and stand for the light. Okay? So if you're feeling, oh, I really know I need to do this work, I'll be with you, holding your hand through the whole process. Okay, so if your soul's nudging you, just go check it out. And I'm open to, installment plan and stuff if this doesn't work for you. Okay, so all the links can be found in the information box. And then what else? So please like and share my video and leave your comments. I read them all. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And have a great week and be proactive. You want to be proactive with with these energies so that you can ride them and they're not riding you, right? All of this stuff can serve our evolution. Everything that happens in our life can serve our evolution if we have the right perspective. Okay? So have a great week. Maybe I'll see you sooner than later because I was a little bit late on this week's message. Okay. Satnam, everybody. Aloha.